All right. Well, this is Burn the Ship. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it very much. It does mean a lot. Anybody that spends the time and the effort to be valuable to our audience is greatly appreciated us. So thank you for that, first of all. Our goal
Sure.
at Burn the Ship is to connect entrepreneurs with professionals that can help you go all in on your business. You know, we talk to people that have talked the talk, walked the walk, been through the things that we experience as small business owners, and have come out the other side with some perspective on things that they could have done better early on, or what their superpower was that helped them grow their business. So, again, thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys connecting with myself and connecting with our audience. It does mean a lot. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. Well, my name is Jeff Krider, and my
I'm
partner.
Patty Moore.
We came out of the industry 40 years for myself in tech, in sales and marketing, having global roles both with large companies like IBM and some small companies that were based in Europe and Eastern Europe. Patty?
I spent my career prior to Barkwell's in the human resources arena at our healthcare facility and as an account manager for several local businesses through the healthcare, specializing in benefits, probably the last 10-15 years.
Nice.
So we own a business called Barkwell's, which is a dog-centric vacation retreat for people that like to get away, particularly in the Asheville area, and bring their pets, bring their family. And so this whole place has been designed around that. We have to give a ton of credit to the original owners and founders, Michael and Ellen Winter. The company is in our 21st year. We've had it this is our 2.5 years, so entering our third year now. But Michael and Ellen had a vision of really getting something set up that was dog-centric versus being dog-friendly. So when you come to Barkwell's, we've got 3 campuses. The main campus in Mills River is about 8 acres, all fenced in with double gates on the property, a 1-acre pond, a huge meadow, and then we have individual luxury cabins that are around the property. Each cabin has its own fenced-in backyard, dog doors, dog sheets, dog towels, big wraparound porch, hot tub, luxury accommodations. And we've got a couple different benchmarks for experience here. Number one is that we want you to walk in our cabins and never, ever know that there's ever been another dog in there. So we keep them very, very clean. And that's a testament to our housekeeping and operations staff. And number two, we want to have it a portion so you can have a family dinner, cook a Thanksgiving dinner in. And I will tell you that the magic that keeps people coming back is not Patty and I. It is the staff, how we treat our clients, and how we treat their family members, their dogs. And everybody seems to have a really good time with that. We're really true believers in that our main job is to set strategy for the company and treat our staff really well, empower them. And if we do that, they treat our customers really well. And then, in fact, the customers treat the company very well. And so that's kind of what we really believe in.
For sure. So tell me, go
Staff
ahead.
are very happy guests and very happy dogs.
Oh yeah, for sure. The thing that we've noticed, and we've talked about it kind of recursively on the podcast recently, is being focused on the product and the experience that you deliver to the people that pay you money, right? And focusing very much so on exactly what it looks like to do right by your business in a way that is as simple as possible, right? Is as simple as providing a quality service or product in a way that does all the things that you just described, empowers your staff to treat your clients the way that they deserve, and in turn allows the clients to show appreciation to the business, right? And a lot of times that is kind of lost on us in my world because of the nature of business in Atlanta is just this high RPM, highly volatile, get to your next customer, and a lot of times you don't have the time to think about things at a high level. You're solving problems, one problem at a time in front of your business, and a lot of times that is the maximum capacity for people. So tell me a little bit, just how did you kind of build this vision? Like, where did this come from? Was it something that was already kind of instilled within the company and you just kind of picked up on it more? Or what is that background like that really brought you to that decision so early?
Well, yes and no. So, in 40 years of marketing and sales and being on quotas and driving sales teams and creating sales teams globally, I will tell you the one thing that is definitely a foundation is the easiest customer is retaining the customer you already have, number one. And number two is getting referrals from that customer. Because you can put, I think the studies have you put the 10 times the effort into finding brand new clients than keeping existing clients happy. So we're focused primarily on keeping existing clients happy. And the products that we develop and deliver to our clients is an experience. And so, no pun intended, but we eat our own dog food. Patty and I become guests and we stay on our guests. Every single one of our staff members, from our housekeeping staff, operations managers, to our front office people, to our landscaping people, they stay in our cabins as clients. We treat them as clients every year. So that everyone gets an opportunity to bring their families in, their significant others in, and just feel what it feels like to be a client. And that have that eye is different than if you're responsible for making sure that things upkept well. But when you stay there, you say, oh, that doesn't look right. Or, it would be nice if we had bigger coffee mugs. It would be nice if the internet worked faster. It'd be nice if, the floors look beautiful. And that's how we set strategy every year. We get all that feedback and we decide on, what the next couple things that we're going to do. We've offered some concierge services where you have a staff photographer now on site to help take pet portraits of you and your family members, of what your time in Barkwells, and take that home with you. We've invested heavily in infrastructure because we're kind of out in rural North Carolina, and internet was kind of slow here. So we put fiber optics into every single cabin. We did a lot of time. So now you can have a staycation where you might have to work a few hours a day, but play with the family and the dogs and go sightseeing the rest of the day. So we try to make that possible. But it is not possible unless you have a staff that treats it like it's their business, and ours do. We're very, very, very lucky that we have a happy staff, and that attitude translates to our customers. They
Oh yeah.
love it too.
And we did a big customer survey shortly after we purchased Barkwells to get guests that have been Cummings input into what they liked, what they'd like to see, anything done differently. We wanted to keep the whole vision of Barkwells as is, and that was very important to the previous owners when they went through the selection process. But we did get a lot of an outstanding response rate, and took all that input to heart. And one of the things we changed was the internet speed, putting in the fiber optics and other things. So we really value the input from both the guests and our employees.
And this was we're not a company that is a venture firm coming in and swooping up businesses. We had to
Sure.
interview with the former owners because they turn more people down than they accepted to even offer bids on the business. They wouldn't take a bid from us until we sat down, had dinner, and made sure that we had a shared vision of how they're going to treat their customers, their family. So we're very comfortable with that. They're still a big part of our business. We still manage some of their properties and talk to them at least once a week.
Sure.
Um,
So, what is the vision for you guys? Like, where do you go from here, right? With such an understanding of your brand and the deliverable to your client, where do you go next, right? Like, once you spend this amount of time kind of putting your own touch on that experience for your client, like, is there an exit strategy for you guys? Is this something that you enjoy so much that you want to continue to have the responsibility for as long as possible? Like, where does it live in your mind?
so couple questions there. I'm gonna kind of break that down. First is when we look at what the next steps are, is what can we maximize with what we have first? I mean, your biggest return on investment is making your existing product even better and more attractive to people. We are not the cheapest. We are the best. And we've got a very unique niche market. There's not many people that have this type of place where your dogs can run free in a fenced in area and everything was designed around them. We've got a couple more tweaks to do on the existing properties here and making sure that we get that done. And then we've been asked by our guests to look at other locations. Why can't we be down in Santa Fe, New Mexico, or out in Nashville, or and look at other locations? And so that is in our longer term strategy. Our first term strategy is to make sure that we've got 3 campuses here in the Asheville area, Western North Carolina, making sure that they're the best they can possibly be. We've got some more work to do and build out a couple more new offerings. And then take a look at what else people want. We're doing some additional concierge services because that's what people have asked us for. We've had guests that, we're not a typical VRBO. We've been here for 20 years. A lot of our clients are repeat customers. They tend to, the day they check out is the day they book for next year. We just had our most regular customer had our 42nd stay with us. He comes a lot. We've had a customer down in Texas that is now booking a 2-month slot to come up and visit with us, and that's a big commitment from their standpoint, and we want to make sure we live up to that. We'll give them the value that they expect from us. We have our own industrial laundry facilities. We have our own landscaping staff. We have our own housekeeping, operations, and maintenance staff. So we don't farm anything out. So the buck stops with our team when things need to get done and keep everybody happy.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny how your customers throw out. They tend to influence the vision, huh? They love to throw out the big vision pictures that maybe you hadn't even thought about yet. Like, yeah, you should do this all over the country. You guys should own a lot more real estate and spend millions of dollars replicating this solution. But if there's anything that speaks to your customer experience, asking for them to be able to do it everywhere is pretty indicative of positive response.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at this long term, and you asked about our exit strategy. We'll exit in 10 or 15 years.
Oh, cool.
And our job is to develop a strategy that optimizes that potential and investment and ensures that it carries on. When we look at expanding in other places, maybe in 2-3 years, we will be looking at external investment, and our biggest number one sources are existing customers. We'll go out and say, hey, you guys want to be part owner of the new enterprise. It's a proven business model. We're profitable, very profitable, and it works out really well. And we measure success by how happy our clients are. And we continually get 5-star reviews on TripAdvisor and Google, and the feedback that they give us has always been really positive. And to be honest with you, I like negative feedback because it helps pinpoint where you've got to fix things. If no one's telling you, hey, I prefer a phone call to saying, hey, Jeff,
Sure.
you need to handle this and this. But if you get some negative responses, that's not a bad thing. It's something that says, oh, darn it, there's something I didn't think of that we need to get into and put our heads with the staff around and figure out the best solution for it and get it fixed so that it never becomes an issue again. We've had a couple of those. We had an issue 5 or 6 years ago where we have a natural pond, and natural things occur, including algae blooms, and that was a problem because people and dogs can get sick. So we now have a company from Charlotte that comes up twice a month in the summer, measures our water chemistry, and makes sure that everything's in balance and that everything is perfect. They come up during the winter and during the summer. And so they come here and make sure that when you jump into our pond, it's clean water, both for you and your dog. And Patty and I both like to go, swimming and float with the pups. And that's something that was a problem occurred and we had to fix it. And now that gave us some proactivity to make sure it never happens again.
Sure. What has been the learning curve for you guys, right? Like, what have been some of the growing pains for you from coming into this situation? Because I'll be honest, it's pretty rare that someone with extensive background in sales and marketing or extensive background in HR from a corporate position are the ones just finding themselves slipping on that entrepreneur hat. Like, you guys were a little bit more armed and dangerous to navigate a lot of the things that you experience as a small business owner than people that know they are good at rendering a particular service. So what has that learning curve been like for you? Has there been one?
Well, I think Patty and I have both been fortunate. We've both been people managers in the past, and you know, uh, my biggest tool in managing people is to make sure that you look at people that your job, you work for them, and your job is to get stuff out of their way so they can awesomely achieve their goals and their objectives in their job. And then you have other people that may need a little help, that need to be coached, to really get to that next level and feel that empowerment and learn that background and build that knowledge base that allows them to be the A player, if you will. And then you've got other people that may be not in the right job and not a good fit. We've had a couple situations where the team and the health of the team is really, really important. If there's anything that impacts that, you have to address it. And so we've learned to do that. The other thing that I think has been beneficial for both of us is that coming from larger companies, we've developed processes, and it's really good, even if it's just you doing a job, to write it down. And so we've taken each of the job roles here and written it down and developed processes that help people deliver consistency when it comes to your quality of product, me included. And we were just talking about some of the things that I do in the marketing and the financial areas, and that's just documenting it and making sure it's consistently done correctly and that it's done on time. But our biggest surprise, to be honest, was how much fun this is going to be. This is not a job. It's not we're not here 40 hours a week or 80 hours a week. We've got staff that just steps up to the plate and allows us to do what we need to do. But when we are here, I mean, I love running the front desk and having clients come in and just shoot the breeze with us and how much they love it here and how many their neighbors they've told. And it's just it's a fun, enthusiastic, positive vibe. And let me tell you, in my 40 years, that is hard to find.
Yeah.
So it's a special place.
Yeah.
And the teamwork is amazing.
Yeah.
Each of our staff, we call them the pack, they look out for each other, and they're always willing to jump in, go the extra mile to help whenever it's needed. So that's been really great too.
Yeah, the creativity of some of our team has just been very impressive. I mean, they have got some wonderful talents that neither Patty or I possess, and we just get them engaged and say go go go.
And giving them the opportunity to use those different skills, that has worked out quite well.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's it's exciting because I think that from an employee perspective, like finding ways to feel valuable within your organization that's not just consistency based, like you show up on time every day, and finding ways to feel like there's growth and reward coming. Like I'll use my company as an example, right? Like my company's a sales organization. We do credit card processing. We manage electronic payments for people, right? And so when I was in the process of building my book of business, right, and finding ways to retain clients, finding ways to build relationships with people, one of the most exciting things for me was that every meeting I had, someone asked me a question that I didn't know the answer to, right? And I had to find some way, whether it was in my industry or some connection that I had or something that was completely out of my wheelhouse, to be able to bring value to people, right? And when you're in that position as an employee, it's very empowering to know that you have the green light to take the initiative to solve problems for people and make their experience better. So it's a wonderful thing from an employee perspective to say, you don't just live in this box. We trust you to be yourself and make decisions. We trust you to think on the fly, because every interaction hopefully is a little bit different, and maximizing one, the experience for the people that are paying you money, and two, the feedback from what that experience is like from those people, is a really good circle to create. And when your employees are bought into that circle and they're invested in the ideas of continuing to accumulate these skills through these interactions with their customer, it really, in your mind, it builds this picture of something that you could never pay your company back for. Like, no matter how much money those employees and staff members were able to create for you and for the company, they're also learning skills that they're able to replicate both in their everyday life and other business ventures and other entrepreneurial aspirations that they may have. That, experience is really king, and it's hard to find places to build that experience without taking a ton of risk, without blindly jumping into something that you think you may be good at, and literally experiencing the full learning curve of a brand new industry. You guys are helping make that possible for people, which is really, really cool. How do people find you if they want to buy something from you, if they want to book a stay? What is the best way for them to come across you guys?
Well, we've done a lot of work on our external marketing. The website's been completely redone, and we have a firm here that helps us with all the search engine optimization. So, pet friendly Asheville will come up. But barkwells.com is our main site. That'll give you all the information you need. And you can book online through that or call the office and get some customized help. But that's kind of how people find us mostly. We're almost to a 10,000 newsletter mailing base right now. It keeps building. Our social media keeps growing. We're going to continue to focus on that as we move forward. But quite frankly, our best advertising that we can possibly ever have is word of mouth. People find out from their neighbors, from their families that, oh my God, I had such a fantastic time. And that tends to be our biggest advertising draw.
And locally, we're getting a bigger audience too. A lot of people the local market has not been that knowledgeable about Barkwells, and that's coming up more. So there's more people locally that will just do staycations, I guess, or close.
There's nowhere to run at home. So having run off leash in the meadow, play with other dogs. It's like a big party for them. So they enjoy that too.
Yeah, sure. It's funny how that happens where in business things move so quickly that it's sometimes hard to own your backyard. You know what I mean? You find yourself in this small clique of people that are recursively doing business with you, and then you come in with some fresh perspective and you're like, look at all the people that are close to us that we can connect with, even though they may not feel like your ideal market. It speaks a little bit to the idea of continuing to put out a better product, and people will pay you money for it, right? It's a unique thing. And kind of the way that we always end the podcast here is right in line with that. What does it feel like, especially from your position, right? Being in that corporate world for so long, what does it feel like to burn the ship and go all in on a business, right? Like I'm assuming that from both of your perspectives, this is something that you were interested in getting into. You probably weighed the pros and cons of several different businesses and found one that really spoke to you from who you are as a person. But what does it feel like to take those responsibilities that you endured in the corporate world and throw them out the window and go all in on your business and commit to, basically learning a new thing, experiencing something that you haven't experienced before?
Well,
I only had a couple days of retirement before I started. I was committed for sure, but we have a mutual love and respect for dogs. I think that's probably one of the big things. But just the business model and the opportunity to own something like this was just like a dream come true. I pinch myself every time I'm here saying, we own this. And taking our dogs here is a lot of fun. They act like they're the owners as well.
For me, it wasn't a jump off the ship immediately. I worked for very large companies that have a great feeling of a safety net when you work for a big company, and that you're not accountable by yourself to make that sale and keep the company afloat. But then I jumped into some smaller companies. I worked with a Ukrainian company and a company based out of London, where you're accountable. And if you don't sell, you're not making payroll.
Oh yeah.
So I got comfortable with that, uneasiness a bit. But when now you're the owner, and Patty and I look at ourselves in the mirror, and we're the only ones really accountable to make sure that we keep a happy, healthy staff and family, and things are moving on track. it becomes a little unnerving, and then you have the confidence to say, I can do this. And you can do it only because you get a great team. You have a great path. I can't emphasize that enough. If it was just Patty and I, we would not have the ability to deliver the experience that our customers expect.
For
And
sure.
that comes all the way from the original owners, who tend to be mentors for us. They still are involved with us, to our existing staff, to our new staff members. And they just really seem to find a kind of a family or a pack environment with us that tends to keep things moving in the right direction. Very
Sure.
happy.
Sure. No, I'm excited for where you guys are. I am excited for to experience it myself. You know, I look forward to bringing my dogs there and having a stay and having that experience. It's something that, you know, my wife is the type that agonizes over the details of trips, right? Like it is something that you should take the time and effort and energy to make sure that you're getting what you want out of your trip, right? And
Sure.
I have made it a focus lately to try to take some of that responsibility away from her, so she doesn't feel like every trip is a daunting task that you have to go through until it's all organized and ready to go. And um, one of those things recursively is where do our dogs go when we have to go out of town, right? So like this experience, I think, and you know, the dog's one of the family as well. You know, my dog's name is Ellie. She's wonderful, extraordinarily well behaved for your typical dog. And I look forward to being able to include her in some of the things that we do. So I think that you guys are doing something awesome. The experience for your customers is great, and I appreciate you guys connecting with me and connecting with the audience as well. So, you know, I just extend my gratitude to you guys, and I wish you the best of luck in continuing to push that vision forward. I know that you all probably kick around the ideas of, you know, we can do this, we can do that, and it's all very, you know, the art of that is how focused and centric it is on your staff and your customers, right? And as long as you can keep those things in the forefront of your mind, I have nothing but the utmost confidence in you guys to be able to take that vision and go wherever you want. And maybe you'll stay retired for more than 48 hours next time. You never know. But yeah, I do appreciate it. If you have anything else
My
to leave the
pleasure.
audience with, please. But that's all I have. You know, burn the ship.